Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Beanie and we are back with another video. But first I want to tell you guys that last night I went to bed with 385 subscribers. This morning I woke up and I had 424 subscribers, and I just want to say, guys, thank you so much. We're almost halfway to the point to where I give away that Eric Hosmer jersey, and I'm just overwhelmed by the support and everything that you guys are giving me for these videos. Y'all really seem to be enjoying them, and that makes me so stoked on this. I'm going to personally come and suck every single one of all 424 dicks that have subscribed to me. I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna suck it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna suck your dick unless you maybe if I start a Patreon and you donate to my Patreon, I would suck your dick. But other than that, yeah, I'm probably not gonna suck your dick. Anyways, guys, this video is going to be, I did a budget video about how to build the team for under 9,000 subs, and a lot of people really seem to like it. So I decided that I'm going to do a few more of these videos where I do it at like different tiers. I'm gonna do one for maybe 30,000, one for 60,000, one for 100,000. But today's episode, we are going to be trying to build a team for less than 2,500 stubs. That is less than, or that is 100 stubs per player on average. But guys, with all that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, guys, with the pitchers, I really tried to save some stubs so I could spend it on the hitters, at least the starting pitchers, because you can really get some good budget pitchers that have good per nines and good stuff and all that. But the first guy I went with was Vince Velasquez. This Vince Velasquez card, he has good K per nine. His hit per nine is you know, a little iffy, but he makes up for it in the K per nine department. He has pretty good stuff, not overwhelming stuff, but his pitch selection is amazing. Okay, and the next guy is Kevin Gausman. The reason that I picked this guy, because his per nines really leave a lot to be desired, but he seems to play up a whole lot. And whenever he plays up, this is a gold level pitcher. I mean, if he has 70 hit per nine and 76 K per nine with 72 walk per nine, and the stuff that he has, this guy is an absolute stud. He has a good 5-pitch mix. The splitter and the changeup are a little bit redundant, but that's okay. Okay, and the next guy is a guy who I kind of struggled with because, man, his per nines for a 77 overall, his per nines are amazing. 75 hit per nine, 85 K per nine, that's gold level right there. His walk per nine is really low, and you know how I feel about that. If you're good with a pure analog interface, you're not going to have a lot of problems there. But this guy just throws absolute gas. His fastball changeup combo can be lethal if used correctly. The only big knock on this pitcher is that his only breaking pitch is a 12-6 curve. So you may have to get kind of creative against righties, because I think sliders or slurves or even a normal curveball is more effective against righties than a 12-6. But so you really may have to work in and out, maybe not pound the strike zone quite as often against righties, but he's going to be throwing so hard that your opponent is going to have to stay at least relatively honest to this guy. Okay, and next up is a guy who I picked purely on his stuff. His per nines are okay for a 77. They're not fantastic. 58 hit per nine, 74 K per nine. The K per nine is good, but the hit per nine, it's like, you may want to wait for this guy to play up before you plop him in your rotation. But his stuff is amazing. He's got 77 velocity with 94 break. This guy is going to be touching 95, maybe 96 for you. And his slider is absolutely disgusting. Okay, and the fifth guy in the rotation is Matt Strahm. And this is a guy that I never see anybody use. But man, he is effective, guys. This guy is dirty for a 76 overall. 62 hit per nine, 83 K per nine. That is very, very, very solid for a bronze pitcher. And he throws you know, he throws hard enough. He has 75 velocity. He's going to be running it up there. His break isn't super high. You know, it's only at 68, but it's a consistent 68. I don't want to say that he has 68 curve, change, and slider, but all three of the pitches have relatively good break on them, and they're effective off-speed weapons. And I use this guy in the events, and I really liked him. He got the job done for me. And so yeah, if you're running a budget team like this, I would definitely recommend getting Matt Strahm and putting him in your rotation. Okay, now we move on to the bullpen, where I started to spend a little bit more on the pitchers because I think whenever you're running a team like this, it's probably in your best interest to get some decent bullpen arms and go to them early rather than try to stack a big rotation, because that can get really expensive when you're on a tight budget. So the first guy I went with was Jordan Walden, who is a really, really cheap 81 overall silver. And the reason he's so cheap is he's a free agent. He doesn't have a team, so he doesn't go towards any collections. But this guy is a stud. 84 hit per nine, 89 walk per nine, with 83 velocity, 98 break. I mean, this guy has just filthy stuff, and he's a PCI shrinker. That's exactly what you want in a reliever. And this guy is just disgusting. And I think if you're running a budget team, Jordan Walden is almost a must-have. The next guy on the list is Pedro Baez. Pedro Baez, he's playing down today, but whenever he is just at his baseline, he is another guy that is just filthy. Reminds me a lot of the Jordan Walden. He has good hit, good K per nine. He throws really hard. He's got good off-speed stuff. He's just a total package. Pick up Pedro Baez. Okay, and I tried to find one guy to kind of bring me back, you know, in the black to where I could spend on some offense and stuff, and that guy was Carl Edwards Jr. This guy, his per nines are elite. Like, his per nines are diamond level. The only reason he's not higher is because his walk per nine, home run per nine, and control isn't very good, but that can be mitigated, and his all-speed stuff is so-so. But his per nines are fantastic. He has kind of a quirky delivery too, which can throw your opponent off. And he throws fairly hard. Like he can get into the mid-90s. This guy is a great way to get an effective reliever and still save some stubs that can be allocated elsewhere later. Okay, and the fourth and last righty is Edwin Diaz, and everybody knows about this guy. I was definitely willing to go 60 stubs over budget for him. He has elite per nines, he throws gas, he has good all-speed stuff, like all the other guys in this bullpen. He's just a monster. I had to get me some Edwin Diaz, and I really like him. But now let's move on to the lefties. Okay, you know no budget bullpen would be complete without my man Jake Diekman. This guy, I talked about him in the last video. He's a monster. He has everything that you want in a left-handed reliever and more. And then I decided to go with a guy that I actually haven't tried out before, and that's Adam Liberatore. He's not great, but finding good, cheap left-handed relievers is actually a lot tougher than you would think. And he has serviceable per nines, and his stuff is good enough, and he's a guy that has 3 pitches, not just, 2 fastballs and a slider. He has the solid 4-seam slider, changeup combo, to where he can pitch against righties pretty effectively too. This is a guy that I'll definitely be trying to use in BR and events and stuff like that. I think this guy is a really solid card. And then the last guy, man, I really struggled with. I did not know what to do with this last lefty. Do I go way over budget and go Buchter? Do I go with Justin Wilson and go under budget? He's pretty good. But I decided to go with Will Smith just because his per nines are great, and I think he's nasty against lefties. His slider curveball combo, man, I really wish I could turn that curveball into a changeup, but it really gets the job done versus lefties, and he's got great per nines, and his off-speed stuff, man, is just wicked. Okay, moving on from the relievers, now we are going to talk about the catchers, And for catcher, I decided to go with Evan Gattis. His defense is not great, but catcher defense, it's tough to know how important it is this year. I think until they figure out some of the gameplay bugs, we're not really going to be able to tell. But he does have pretty good arm strength, so that may allow you to throw out some runners that you normally otherwise wouldn't be able to. But really, the reason you're getting this card is he is just a power monster. He's going to hit tons of tanks for you. In my opinion, he's probably even better versus lefties because his contact, he's going to make more contact, and that 74 power will play up. And whenever he gets good inside edge and stuff like that, this guy is just going to be a monster for you. Backing him up, I decided to go with Willson Contreras, not for any particular reason other than I think this is a guy that could grow. I think this is a guy that could start as a bronze and end up being a high silver, and really get a boost to maybe his vision, his contact versus righties, his power. I think this is a guy that could be going places. So I decided to pick him up under budget in the hopes that he would grow into something that I could use. Okay, and then first base was also tough. I didn't know if I wanted to go over budget or under budget for my starting first baseman. I really love Victor Martinez. You know me, like I'm all about those switch hitters. And this guy is a guy that, even if he's playing up or if he's just normal, he's a monster. He's got the power, he's got the vision, he's got the contact. His PCI is going to be big. He's a monster, but I did not go with Victor Martinez. I went under budget for Victor Martinez Light. And it's because I noticed that Kendrys Morales plays up quite a bit. And whenever he plays up, he turns into a maniac. I mean, this guy, for a 76 bronze, right now, he's got 65 contact with 80 power versus righties, and 85 power with 64, or 85 contact with 64 power versus lefties, and 69 vision. I don't really need a backup first baseman for Kendrys since he's a switch hitter, but I decided to go with Desmond. This guy is just sick to be on your bench. If you're running a budget team, honestly, I think this guy is a must-have. He crushes lefties, 84 contact, 71 power. He's got amazing defense. He's got some speed. He's got some wheels on him. And he can play 5 different positions. He can play all the necessary outfield positions, plus shortstop and first base. That's a guy that I want on my budget team for sure. Okay, and at second base, I decided to go over budget again. And I went with Neil Walker. A switch hitter who has, mid-70s to mid-60s everything hitting. And he's just solid all the way around. He's not going to do anything spectacular for you. He's not going to be a guy that is going to be your main power threat. He's not going to get on base at the highest clip. His defense isn't going to be amazing, but he's always going to be reliable. You can always rely on him to do something. And I also decided to get a backup second baseman and go with Logan Forsythe. Kind of like Desmond. I got this guy because he hits lefties really well, and he doesn't hit righties bad, and he has a ton of positional versatility. I am huge in utility players. I think utility players are super important to having an effective team whenever you're trying to build the team for less than 2,500 stubs. Because if you have a spot where you can't afford to fill, if you have some, at least with a really good guy, if you have some versatility, you can put Logan Forsythe in left field, and he'll get the job done for you. Okay, and at third base, I decided to go with another guy that is a positional versatility guy, but he's going to be my starter. He's not going to be on the bench, and that's Eduardo Nunez. This is another guy that could definitely grow. He's been hot to start the year, but this guy, he has some amazing wheels. He is going to be a terror on the base pass for your opponent, and against lefties, he has some pop. He's not going to get it on base as much, but he can really hit some tanks for you. Last time he was a bench player. This time he is my starting third baseman. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, why aren't you putting your leadoff hitter at third base, you know? I don't really look at it that way. I look at it like I'm getting a guy who is going to hit both sides of the plate really well, has some wheels, isn't going to hit a ton of tanks or anything like that, but is going to be reliable at the plate, reliable on defense, and he has one tool that is just extraordinary, and that is his speed. And then I decided to go with another backup infielder, and the reason I did that is because all of the backups that I have, all the bench players, they all have a lot of positional versatility, so I didn't feel the need to go out and grab 2 bench outfielders. And I went with Solarte, and he's been in a pretty bad slump to start the year. This is almost kind of a sentimental pick. I can't really justify a ton about it other than I'm saving a ton of stubs. He's a switch hitter, and he is just okay all the way around. He's not great at anything, but he's good at a lot of things. So yeah, I don't know. I really like Solarte. I really do. Not as much as last year, but I don't know. I'm just a fan of this card, and I'm a fan of him. For those of you who don't know, his wife died this past off season. So I don't know. I'm just a fan of him and the strength that he has to be able to get up every day and come to San Diego and do his job, Okay, shortstop was tough as hell. I was about to pick Diaz, because Diaz is just an offensive monster, but I thought about it and I was like, man, my defense in the infield is not great. I think I need to look for somebody that has a bat and has the defense. And I found a guy who is awfully similar to Diaz at the plate, but I sacrificed a good bit of power to get the defense, and that is with Yunel Escobar. He's honestly a better contact hitter than Diaz is. He doesn't have the power, though. I mean, he is a good 20 points behind Diaz in the power department, but he has really good defense. This guy, not really good. He's not Troy Tulowitzki or, Ozzie Smith or Andrelton Simmons or Brandon Crawford, but he has good enough defense to where he can make a play or two for you, maybe save you a run here or there. And I think that's important at this point because my infield defense is not great. And in left field, I'm going to pick the same guy that I picked for my 9,000 stub squad, and that's Corey Dickerson. This is a guy that's just going to be, he's probably going to be my 4-hole hitter, maybe the 3-hole hitter. I don't know, but this guy is just a monster versus righties. You may have to find him a platoon against lefties, but against righties, this guy is just a beast. And then obviously in center field, I had to go with my dude Franklin Gutierrez. Just a defensive monster, a power monster, and actually this guy is probably going to be my 4-hole hitter. He's just a little bit better than Dickerson in the power department. Who are we kidding? He's a lot better. But yeah, this Gutierrez card is a freaking glitch. And there's no way to have a budget team of any size and not have this guy on it. It's, he's a monster. Then I decided to go way over budget with my right fielder and get Mark Trumbo. At the time, I could afford it, and this is a guy who is also going to be right there, in the argument for the 4 or 5 hole. He's going to be a run producer for you. He doesn't, he's not the best fielder, does have an arm, doesn't have speed. He was on my last budget squad, and this is another guy that I think you kind of have to have if you're trying to get a squad in under a certain amount of stubs. This guy is just so good. And then finally, for my one bench outfielder, and this is a guy that I could see giving a spot start to here or there if I decided to play at like a big ballpark or something, and that's Josh Reddick. This is a guy that has amazing defense, and he crushes righties. 83 contact, 63 power with 83 vision, big PCI. 63 power is enough to get the ball out of the park. And I noticed that I was kind of not super light on left-handed bats, definitely light on like true lefty bats. I think Dickerson may have been the only one I had. I don't know. I have to go back and look. But yeah, I wanted another left-handed bat on my bench that I could use, as I saw fit, as a defensive replacement, as a pinch hitter, as a double switch, anything like that. So I think Josh Reddick is a good way to end this episode, and I think that this is a really solid team, and I was able to buy this team and put it together for 2,491 stubs. Just under the 2,500 mark, and I'll be honest, guys, I'm not going to do one lower than this. If you can't put a team together for 2,500 stubs, I mean, come on, guy, get a job, something like that's like $2. And it's not even really even that. Like, you can grind up to 2,500 stubs in like 30 minutes, like actually way less than that. I don't know. It's nothing. You should be able to get this, and also your team is gonna improve, because as you put these players in your lineup, you're gonna be finishing player epics, you're gonna be finishing conquest, you're gonna be doing all that stuff. But this is just like, if you don't do anything but have stubs and buy live series players, this is the team for you. And well, this is the team for you if you're poor as shit. Let's just say that. If you're a homeless person, and you play MLB The Show at your local public library that has I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. Once again, thank you for 400 subscribers. You guys are killing it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and retweet this video for a chance to win a signed Eric Hosmer jersey. It's freaking lit, guys. And whenever I said that I was going to be giving that away, I was like, oh, I may give it away in a year, because that's typically how long it takes for a YouTube channel to grow like this. Guys, I'm almost halfway there already, and it's been like just over a month since I started this. That's insane, guys. And I have you to thank for it. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.